Thank you all for taking the time to come out and be with us today. It's a quarterly meeting for Pune Geothermal Venture. We do this quarterly and we are excited. Nice turnout. Everyone's here on time. Some nice art, it looks like. Appreciate that. And we'll go over what we're planning to do for today's meeting. Right now, for our agenda, I'm going to be doing the intro, the opening discussion, which is what I'm doing right now. Then we're going to have plant manager Jordan Howard that's going to give an update of what's going on at the facility. He's going to go over a little bit of information on the process of the plant. Should be quick. County folks weren't able to make it this time. They send their regrets. However, perhaps the next time we can get an update from the county. And then we're also trying to see about maybe getting the folks that are doing the construction for the road. We're reaching out to them so we can put a Pohihiki road out. For those of you that go down by the Y, you probably saw the work on the upper side. We're understanding they've been doing the work down on the ocean side for some time. So we'll see if we can get them at a future meeting. Once we're done with the facility update from Jordan, we'll get into our Q&A session. I did receive some questions via email, and first off, we apologize for the website not working as it should have for uploading the questions. Thanks for pointing that out to me, Jasmine. So we got our IT folks looking into it to fix it for next time. So just to go over guidelines, we've got some new folks, and again, thank you guys for showing up. I just mentioned about the updates that Jordan's going to do for us. We'll have Q&A. The questions that we did receive online, we'll go over that during the Q&A session. And this session is being recorded by Angela Costa. Thank you, Angela. And we will be uploading the video recording at a later date.
Did the rest of us who didn't send questions get to ask questions too?
So yes, all I mentioned was the folks that submitted it online will go through their questions. And then anyone in the audience will have opportunity to ask questions. Sometimes, from experience, some folks would just like to make statements. That's fine. We're going to limit that to 2 minutes to give everyone opportunity to share whatever they might have. But we'll go through whoever's here, whoever took the time to come and spend time with us, we're going to go through that. So the key here on our meetings is we want everyone to be courteous of each other. When someone is speaking, please provide the utmost courtesy, no disrespect, no interruption. When you have your time, we will give you the time to say what you want to share. The questions, we'll give you the time to ask us what the questions are, and we'll answer accordingly. But main thing, everyone is respectful. Any disruption, which we don't anticipate, but we have experienced that in the past. But any disruption, we'll ask that you do politely. Abusive language, swearing, unacceptable. We won't do that. We promise we won't swear to any of you out here, and we ask that courtesy is also.
What about lying?
Well,
No lying. Tell the truth? No lying.
No lying.
We started to interrupt already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're gonna have to.
Anyhow, so that is the key. We want everyone to have this opportunity to learn from us. You know, even though there might be some different opinions and whatnot, that's fine, right? But we want to be able to share our information and provide everyone here the opportunity to ask questions about what we have. We talked about the Q&A during the Q&A portion of the meeting, and this is the website where the video will be uploaded to eventually. Some of you are familiar with the website, the upload wasn't working. I've done this already. And I don't have anything right now, and so we're going to turn it over to Jordan to give us an update of what's going on at the PGV facility. Just got to hit enter.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your participation and interest. So for the plant side update, currently running 4 production wells. We have 8 topside units running. These are the steam and pentane units. And we have 2 pentane units on the bottom side. Injection wells currently, we have 3 injection wells in service currently as we speak. Our average is about 30 megawatts is what we're averaging for 24 hours. And we've been doing really well as of lately. We completed some work on one of our production wells and injection wells. So we're doing really well now, stable. We are looking at doing our repower, and we are finished grading on that. We're awaiting some permits, and we're gonna be doing foundation soon, hopefully. Other than that, on the plant side, we've been pretty good. Just wanted to give you guys kind of, I know there's some new faces in the crowd, and so we want to educate you guys on, what we do, how we do it, so that it may help alleviate some concerns or whatnot, and also maybe help with questions. So with this one right here, this is potentially our repower. So the new plant that will eventually come online. And so out of production, you have your hot geothermal fluid, and this is a mixture, we call it geofluid. And it's a mixture of steam and brine. You go through a separation system, and your steam will then go to your vaporizer heating pentane. Pentane is similar to like gas or alcohol. It is flammable. We do use that as a motive fluid, so it heats it up to create pressure to run your pentane turbine. It's very, a storage tank like that is very similar when you go to the gas station. You drive up to a gas station, you got, 20, 30,000 gallons underneath you at a gas station. Here we have our brine that is on the bottom of the separator, and that would heat up your preheater. So you have a vaporizer heating, and you have a preheater heating, and all of your steam and brine eventually collects because your steam turns into condensate, and you have non-condensable gases, which is H2S that naturally comes out of the ground, but we collect that also. You combine that all in your mixing area, go through our injection pump, and then down our injection well. So closed loop system. We inject in an area where we would expect, a long-term heating effect before it comes back up as production. Your pentane side, right? So pentane, your system is, the way I like to explain it is almost like a refrigerant system, right? Where it's enclosed, you have vaporization and condensing. This system, heat exchange, is almost like your car motor where you have coolant and oil. They never touch each other, but they exchange the heat. So it's very similar. And your pentane side, you have liquid pentane that would warm up with your preheater, right? So the hot brine is heating up your pentane, and then it goes to your vaporizer, which then your steam vaporizes that pentane into a vapor, runs your pentane turbine, goes out the exhaust to your condenser, which is like a big radiator with fans. And that's the thing too, right now we're running 9 units, 8 units on the top side, but up to 9. We also have 2 large units on the bottom. So we're gonna switch all of that from, if we stay in the same configuration, 8, 9, 10 units to just 2 large units. So you're gonna have less fans, less noise, more efficiency. But your radiator here is what cools down all that vapor back into a liquid. And then your pentane just goes around and around and cycles through. So that's for our new plant. It's very similar to our current plant too, but I'll show you our current plant. So, our bottom end units right now that just use brine. Will it reverse on the back arrow?
Yeah, okay, sure.
So our bottom end units, OAC 3132, it's very similar to this, except all we use is brine for the heating source. We don't use steam. So our existing plant right now, we have 2 units that only use the brine after separation, heats up pentane and runs only a pentane turbine. Okay, that's 2 units that we currently are running right now. This is our older units on the top side that uses steam. So we use the steam only on these. And this process is a little different on this diagram, but for us, we only use steam on our top side units. The steam will run the steam turbine. All the extra steam then goes to your vaporizer, vaporizes pentane again, and then your condensate, right? Steam, as it's cooled down, turns into condensate, or you get non-condensable gases. And that condensate will then warm up your preheater and then goes back to your mixing area. Your pentane does exactly the same thing, same route, like how I showed you in that previous slide. And so you have 1 pentane turbine and 1 steam turbine going through gearboxes to a generator. And that's how the topside units run. And we currently have 9 available units of those on the top side. Right now, we're just running 8 though, due to our production. Again, everything collects in our mixing area, right? So we get all the non-condensable gases, a lot of times H2S, which naturally is in the ground. We collect all of that, all of your condensate, all of your brine that was on the bottom end units, right? 31, 32. So we collect that all, and then goes into injection. So just kind of wanted to give a brief understanding of the plant. I mean, and this is, of course, a more simplified version, but it at least gives you an idea of how we're making the power, what we're doing, what we're using.
Can you repeat what you said about 2 wells at the beginning?
2 wells.
You said something about 8 production wells, 3 injection wells, and 2 something else.
2 bottom end units, the 2 OEC 31, 32 running.
2 bio units.
Bottom end, we call it bottom end because it just uses the brine. So 2 brine units running. Yeah, we can say it easier like that way. OEC 31, 32 in particular.
Thanks, Jordan. So we'll shift over to Q&A, and we'll start off with the questions that we received online. And this is from you, Corey. One second. Anybody know who my favorite NFL team is? Just checking. Corey, question number 1, how many average megawatts did the PGV produce in June and July? So currently we're at 30, so July we average around 30. In June, Zach, it was a little lower.
June,
Probably around 20.
15.
So 20 megawatts in June, 30 in July, average. And the reason why it was lower, because we were doing some work, some maintenance. That's question number 1. And then question 2, how many production wells and how many injection wells are operating? Jordan mentioned it. We have 4 production wells in service. We have 3 injection wells that we're using.
What's up with KS21?
You'll have your time to talk after, let him get through these questions, and then you can ask questions after.
Yeah, we'll get to you, Larry. Okay, next question from Corey. What permits does PGV need to obtain to produce 46 megawatts? 46 megawatt is the repower project we've been talking about. I mentioned it. We're actually doing that work right now. So the permits needed for that, we need all the existing permits. So we have the county geothermal resource permit with the state, 3 different permits. one with Department of Land and Natural Resource, the LNR. The next one is with the Department of Health Clean Air Branch. That regulates us on air quality. The other state Department of Health permit is the underground injection control. That oversees the use of the re-injection wells. And then we also have a permit with EPA, Region 9 from San Francisco. And EPA regulates the injection wells also. So we have two redundant re-injection permits. One with the state, one with EPA. In addition to that, we do have, like for building, it goes through the county planning department. Not planning, excuse me, public works. Just like anyone else, you wanna build a home, you wanna build something, you need a building permit, that's what we need to do. So Corey's asking, the next question is to summarize the construction schedule for the 46 megawatt and indicate where PGV is on that schedule. Right now, we've completed the grading and grubbing, we're getting ready. And some of you may be aware that some of the equipment arrived into Gila Harbor and it was shipped out to our location, so we have that. We're just waiting on we need the permits to do the civil work there. The big summary, Corey, is that we plan for the new project to be in operation by the end of 2026. We're targeting to do it sooner than end of December, but that is the summary target, that's the target for us. And then Corey's next question is, will generation be paused during construction? There will be a period where we have to shut down the old equipment and transfer the connection to the new equipment. So yes, generation will be paused when we connect the new equipment and decommission the old equipment.
About how long?
2 months. 2 months. Right, Jordan?
The schedule on that is about 5 weeks of 0, and then 2 weeks of like 3 megawatts, and then 2 weeks of 15, and then after that,
I can't hear when you.
Okay, so what Jordan is saying is in the 2 month period, let's call it 8 weeks. For 3 weeks, the plant will be at reduced output.
or 0 output,
For 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 3 weeks.
It'll be at reduced output. Or just 5 weeks 0 and nothing
5
else.
weeks 0, we shut down, transition. 2 weeks 3 megawatts, and then 2 weeks 15.
Okay, so that's what I should have said. 4 weeks at reduced output, 5 weeks at 0. Next question from Corey. Is format for PGV considering geothermal generation for Pohakulua trading area? No, we're not currently considering any geothermal generation for PGV. And then Corey is asking a question about Zach Reynolds. Zach Reynolds is a geologist. He does scientific geophysical work for us. And he did some surveys of the area to help us understand the geothermal resource that's at our location. And the question was, did Zach ever get back to you, Paul? And he never did. You still want to talk to him? Okay. Did you see
I saw the report,
his report?
but I had some questions that weren't in
Yes,
the
I'll let him know that you still want to
Yeah.
speak with him.
Yeah.
He did tell me that he did call at least once, but I guess that you were.
I didn't get a message.
I'll follow up.
You got my number, right?
Yes. And your email. It's okay, I give him your email.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, the next question for Corey is around flow testing. And the first question is, what method of abatement was used for mercury, cadmium, and hydrogen sulfide during the flow test? Starting off with the hydrogen sulfide, which is in a gaseous state. So we use sodium hydroxide to abate the hydrogen sulfide. Because it's in the steam. What comes up is steam and water, and Jordan mentioned we call it brine. It's basically it's high sodium content, it's like seawater, almost like seawater. And the hydrogen sulfide is in the steam that is sent into the atmosphere. Sodium hydroxide is used to abate that. With regards to your asked the question about cadmium, mercury, that's in the liquid phase, and that stays within the containment of the flow test equipment. And that liquid is routed to a holding pond that's adjacent to the test area, and then ultimately that liquid returns back into the reinjection system.
So the heavy metals aren't area, they are.
It's in the brine.
They are in the air.
They're in the brine fraction, in the liquid fraction.
This HGPA EIS, it said that there were heavy metals in the airline, in the steam that came out. And they said that was one of the risks, but you're saying it's different for you?
Yeah, it's in the liquid fraction at our research.
Have you tested the steam to see if there's mercury or cadmium in the steam?
We do tests. I don't know what the results are, but we can follow up and take a look at what we've done. It's a requirement by the air department to do those analyses. There is a requirement to test the geothermal resource, the chemical makeup of it.
So you have data that shows what the steam, the heavy metals
We
in
do.
steam?
We do.
Like, would you share that with us?
Yeah, you can get it from DOH.
Yeah,
That's Sarah how to do it.
they're actually less helpful than you are.
They are?
Yeah, I
That's
know.
true, Sarah. Okay.
Actually, no, you have to go to uipa.org,
There you go.
the Uniform Information Practices, and they send the email, you just tell them what agency you want, and then they send it to the health department.
I'll look
Well,
into it.
today I just got a reply about, actually about KS21, but they want $60 for me for them to look up the information, so.
To answer your question though, I'll follow up.
That'd be great, I appreciate it.
Okay, what was, next question from Corey. What was done to determine, and this again has to do with the protest. What was done to determine the impacts to neighbors from substances falling onto roofs and into catchment tanks? Mercury, cadmium, hydrogen sulfide, and major substances such as sodium hydroxide, which you mentioned. So during the flow test, because of the test equipment, we did not have any substances leave the well pad location. So there was none, and we haven't received any calls or anything from anyone saying that they got stuff on their roof. Unless you're aware of some.
Saw the pictures of the protest of this enormous steam cloud going way up in the air. I can't imagine that it stays within the boundaries.
It dissipates very quickly, it's steam. It dissipates very quickly. And your next question is, what was the height of the steam plume?
Yeah.
It was probably an average about 70 feet. Some were a little bit lower, some a little bit higher. And then you also asked how far did it travel, and like I was saying, the steam cloud dissipates very quickly. And so there was no smell or cloud detected beyond the location that the test skid and the test equipment was set up right there. So we're talking maybe 200 feet square area.
What was the date on that date?
I don't know, I don't recall the exact date, but. Anybody on it? Well, let me see, because Corey puts down information about it.
Yeah, 3 flow tests.
What's that?
And 3 flow tests.
Oh, we do it all the time. No. It's an industry practice. It's to clean out the well. It looks like it was March time frame. I'll double check.
Well, we did one recently too, but I don't know if it's
March?
June or
June.
June, July, somewhere in June.
Okay, so the last one was probably June time frame. We put that an ad in the paper,
Why do you do that? Why do you put the ad in the paper?
to let people know that we're gonna do it.
So then you're anticipating that we're gonna have an issue with you releasing
We
it
don't,
into the air?
no, it's not anticipating an issue, it's a requirement to notify people of what we're doing.
Why would you do that?
Because the authorities require us to do
That's
that.
the only reason we would do it?
And we want people to know what's going on. If you see a plume and you don't know what's going on, what are you gonna be thinking?
Well, what happens when we get poisoned and we have to go to the hospital from those?
Yeah, listen, if you do, then you have to go to the hospital. So,
So you mean you take no responsibility for
listen,
poisoning?
we'll get to you, we'll get back to you. Let me finish recording.
It is the same question, actually.
Yeah, listen, we are required by law to let people know what is going on there.
Thank you for
It's
that.
better than not telling anyone anything when you
Right.
see the steam plume.
For days, we are
Right.
in fear, because we don't know what's gonna happen in those 3 days, especially those that live around it and
Uh-huh.
feel the poisons that come
And
out.
that's why we have this new equipment that captures everything and keeps it on location, like I was explaining, nothing left the well.
Is that the closed loop lie?
It's not loop, closed loop, it's to atmosphere, atmosphere means it's open.
How can you control Tutupe that way?
Listen.
You're fracking and cracking it, it's gonna go.
Okay, now you're getting off target, you're getting off target, cracking, as you said, let me get back to Corey, please, when you have your chance, you can speak.
But you still do flow tests.
We're gonna do flow tests in the geothermal industry is standard practice, because after you drill, you have to clean the well, and that's part of cleaning. And in some cases, if you wanna improve the performance of the well, you go for it.
Listen, in a neighborhood, it would be better, way better.
Yeah, listen, if none of us needed power, it'd be way better, but we do.
There's so much better ways to get power, you know.
Ma'am, let him finish, please.
Yeah.
We gotta get through this
Well,
question,
it's
there's a
not-
bunch of questions. we
Corey,
gotta get
hold
through.
on, Corey. Yeah, hang in there. Okay, so Corey, you asked why was it not monitored as normal operations are away from the source? Remember that question? It's not monitored away from the source because it is exactly as you state, it is not normal operations. It is a special operation that we only do from time to time, it's not every day, 24/7. And so that's why and then, this is a requirement by the Department of Health, Clean Air Branch, to do the monitoring the way we want it. So the regulatory authorities require us to do it, and we don't do the clean outs often. I think in the since the eruption, we've done maybe 3 or 4 flow tests, full clean outs. So it's not like every quarter, every month occurrence.
So how come you don't monitor it for source, for the normal
For normal
operations, although
operations.
you do it for the flow test?
Good
Obviously,
question.
you're capable of doing it at the source.
So, but normal operation, we're not flowing to atmosphere. Normal operation is everything is contained within the system.
There's not during tropical storm itself.
That's not normal operation.
Well, you should test to make sure your operations are running normally.
Okay? I agree. The next question is, why were rolling averages used to measure hydrogen sulfide? The rolling average or hourly average is a requirement of the regulatory agencies. So
You're well aware if you have a spike of.
they are well aware, and so are we. Our folks have to train on hydrogen sulfide because our folks are the ones required to respond if there's an upset condition. If something fails, a valve needs to be closed, someone properly trained will respond to that. And so, yes, we know that it can be a high spike, but per the Clean Air Branch, they do it on an average basis.
When a spike can make someone unconscious or kill someone, and you're well aware of that, and yet you don't take measures to prevent that.
Okay, really noted. Okay, question 15. Does, quote, strong pricing, unquote, mean higher electricity bills for residents or lower bills? So it has No, the pricing is what the cost of electricity is. So, if it's higher or stronger pricing, then the electricity bill will be higher.
So Foreman says there was strong pricing, that means our electric bill went up.
And the strong pricing is set by Oil Electric, not by Oil. Yeah, that's why
You
we
guys
pay.
have nothing to do. It's hard to believe you have nothing to do with the pricing, you're the ones that are selling it.
We do not, we do not. We do not have anything to do with the pricing. We have agreed to sell the electricity at whatever the rates that they determine. Now, of course, it's a little bit more involved because we have 3 different rate structures at the existing plant. 2 of them are at fixed rates, so it cannot go up or down. But one portion of the project or the plant does fluctuate, and that's determined by Oil Electric. So strong pricing by them means residents, businesses pay more.
I'm not following that we have nothing to do with the pricing.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is boost production and injection wells are still out of service due to the eruption. And we have several of our wells that are still out of service. We are working with DLNR, Department of Health, and all the authorities on a plan on moving forward with the wells that we're not using. So some of them we're gonna use to monitor the resource, because we can lower instruments into the wellbore. And others will probably end up plugging and abandoning. Plugging and abandoning. But that has to be finalized by the regulatory agencies, and we're working on it.
How many are out of service since the election?
I think we have 3 production and 3 injection. 3 and 3,
And 3 injection?
yes. 17, getting on to the nitty-gritty here. What drilling is planned in the next year? We don't have any geothermal well drillings planned for next year. At this time, we don't have anything planned or confirmed. However, we are drilling a few monitoring wells. It's a smaller rate, it's a water well, basically. It's not a geothermal well. And these monitoring wells are required by the Department of Health, Safe Drinking Water Branch, and that's to monitor the geothermal resource to make sure that the groundwater in that area is not being impacted by the fire.
How long does it take to drill one well?
A week or so. It's only daytime. It's a small well. It's like the little rigs you see that drill water wells for folks, you know.
Day and night or for
No,
1 week?
it's only daytime.
Just daytime?
Yeah. Okay, so number 18, Corey. The question is what amount and percent of book net equity is self-insured for PGV? And I don't know what our total book net equity is. It's a confidential number that, you know, our corporate accounting folks have. So I don't know, I can go try and ask. I did ask, but I didn't get an answer what that percentage is. This has to do with insurance, I'm just curious about insurance, self-insurance.
You can't get insurance, especially since the eruption, it's much more difficult.
It is. Okay, last question for Corey. And to preface your question, you mentioned, you referenced Big Island Now reports about Hawaiian Electric stating that average residential customer consuming 500 kilowatt hours per month will see a $23.62 decrease in the electric bill because of the repowering project. And your question is, when will this decrease occur? So the decrease will occur when the repower project is in full operation.
About when?
So by the end of next year, it'll start reducing people's residential bills, well, and business also. Okay, thank you, Corey, for those questions. And we'll move on to Paul Kuykendall. Thanks, Paul. So Paul's first question is, what are the potential risks of the repower process to neighbors? Is there likely to be a brine and steam release? When is the most risky time for that process? What is the timeline for that most risky process to happen? Will you notify neighbors of the plan? And I'm gonna try to answer that. I mean, they're all related, right? So the potential risks associated with the repower process is somewhat similar to the potential risks that is existing with the existing process today. However, the likelihood of a brine and or steam release is substantially reduced. And this is because we're going from 12 units down to 3 units. You have less equipment, you have less piping connections. So the potential risk is lowered just by that mere physical fact. With respect to time, there's really no difference in the risk level for a release. There's really no associated timeline. We do our best to be proactive, to make sure that the piping, the wall thickness, the equipment is properly functioning. It's really a proactive maintenance. And we're very, very high on that. Because then we don't want piping to prematurely fail. We want to be on top of it before it gets to that point. So the risk associated with that timeline-wise, it's not really, for example, we've changed out piping after 20 years of operation. But we've changed it out after we've done ultrasonic thickness testing. There's equipment you can use to determine the thickness of the piping. That helps us determine scheduling when we should change out piping. So with respect to notifying the neighbors, we're going to continue to utilize our emergency response plan that we have in place, which basically guides us when there's upset situations. And our first point of notice is with Civil Defense, is with the County Planning Department, is with the Department of Health. Right, so we're going to continue to do that. Good questions. Question number 2. Paul's question number 2 says, you said that the new plant will save ratepayers money on electric bills. We talked a little bit about it. PGV has been operating for more than 30 years. Why are the Big Island's power rates higher than Oahu and Maui, even though they don't have geothermal power plants? Very good question. So, for many, many years, the entire state has been very reliant, and to some degree still very reliant on imported fossil fuels. So the fossil fuels has a lot to do with the cost of energy. That's where I was saying we don't have influence on the rates. It's really Hawaiian Electric and the fuel that they're using, and it can fluctuate. And we, as a state, we have to buy this oil from Saudi Arabia or Alaska, but international. And if you follow the market, oil prices go up and down, right? The cartel, the OPEC nations, those are the types of things that we as a state don't have control over. That's why we have the mandate that we want to go to 100% renewable by 2045. So we can wean ourselves of this unknown, portion of why we pay such high electric bills. If Oahu or Maui had geothermal, they would be a little bit more favorable. Now, I mentioned the contracts, the differences in the contracts. With the repower project, it'll be fixed rates. It's going to be 7 cents a kilowatt hour.
Didn't that just get amended?
We did, but it's going to be fixed rates, 7 cents a kilowatt hour. And that's why all the folks that's on with Hawaiian Electric, the estimate, and PGV did not make this estimate, Hawaiian Electric made this estimate. A resident that residential folks that use about 500 kilowatt hours a month is gonna see a $23 reduction.
You know, Mike, if you take that actually it's at $26, they said, $26.62. You divide that by 500, that's only a 4.7 cents, less than a nickel per kilowatt hour, okay?
Okay.
And if you take that away from the Big Island costing 24, the cost was 48.3 cents, okay? If you take that away, it comes out to 43.1 cents.
Yeah.
That's still more than Oahu
So-
and Maui
Yeah.
in 2024. And those guys use oil, they use
So-
fossil fuels, they also use solar. So what my question is, why, after 30 years, and even with this free power agreement, isn't PGV and geothermal making a difference to people's electric bills?
So that's a good question, and really, that question is more appropriately suited for Hawaii Electric to answer. But I'll let you know what I know, right? That 4 cents that you mentioned, divided by the 500 per month, et cetera, that is just the cost of the fuel portion of the 44 cents calculation. There's other contributing factors to the 44. One of them is transmission and distribution costs, right? So if you think about that, our island is huge,
Yeah.
landmass wise, right? So you have to, every resident who's connected to Hawaii Electric, they share in that cost. So I don't know what that number of the 44 is.
You know, Mike, you're making a great point, because Helco gets a guaranteed profit when they have line loss, when they ship power over a long period.
Right.
So if they take power from PGV
Yes.
and they ship it over to Kona, where all the big resorts are, those are the big users, right? They ship it over, they make a guaranteed profit, right? That doesn't help any of us.
Okay, and that's why I say it's more appropriate that Hawaii Electric answers
Yeah.
in response to
What I'm
that.
saying is geothermal and no geothermal, it's not making a difference in the power bill.
Okay.
That's why we're using the
That's why it's better to have solar.
And the rate went from
project.
7 cents to
So the other thing about solar is, they've got solar plants over on the Kona side, so they don't have to ship the power as far. And I think Helco probably likes using it over here and then making that money.
We like solar too. We like solar. As long as the sun's shining, we like solar. Yeah.
Batteries do too.
That's what
We
generates.
still need the sun to charge the batteries. But we like solar. Listen, we like solar, we like wind, we like hydro. We just love geothermal.
Yeah, I understand.
Title.
Okay.
That doesn't stop.
What's your third question, Paul? Oh, I think we know it. We're just talking about it, at the rates.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Jasmine,
Hey, hi.
is that a turkey feather?
Oh, yeah.
I know, I have a couple of turkeys at home.
Turkey
Is that a bluegrass?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what the breed is. huh?
farm. Hawaiian turkey.
Hawaiian turkey.
turkey, in rock area.
Okay, well, nice. Thank you for your questions.
Yeah, thank you for reading them.
So I'm gonna read your first question.
Yeah.
And so Jasmine says that the plant is producing loud booms and shaking homes throughout the night. And it's not a normal occurrence. What is the cause of this alarming noise and vibrations? And why haven't we been informed? We need answers immediately. And the plant is not producing any loud booms. There's no loud booms there.
Residents that all live around it and by it are saying this and
Yeah, but the plant's not, to answer your question, the plant's not producing any loud booms.
Okay, and the shaking home.
And the shaking, now, there is, have you heard it, right, they're rebuilding the Pohiki Road, maybe that's contributing, I don't know.
Not at 10 at night.
Not at 10 at night.
It's a lot of people, yeah.
Okay, but we're not making any booms.
So we
They
did,
know it's coming from,
we did have somebody mention something that, and I did offer to go up there and try to, see what was going on.
Oh, we had someone call in about
Yeah,
that?
it was like a month or so ago, or 2 months ago, and we weren't doing anything at the time, but I offered to go up, visit with them.
The last few weeks.
to get- to
This
get
is like
that. things and then.
But that wasn't back then, so that's not what I was, I'm asking about like right now, like the last couple of weeks, not a
Okay.
couple months.
Alright,
Probably all the equipment you're unloading,
what's that?
all the equipment that you're unloading.
Also during the day.
Yeah, that's what just in the daytime, right, Steven?
During the day.
That's Steven, by the way, he's, projects, leader there. Okay. Question number 2. The community is consistently getting sick. We're currently in an active injunction case against future PGV equipment. Despite years of requests, accurate air monitors still have not been installed. What's the reason?
We're sick.
People, especially our children and elders, are repeatedly getting sick and hospitalized. Yet the only monitors in place don't accurately measure downwind or H2S levels. We need a clear explanation for this refusal to install proper monitor. Please explain. So regarding our air quality stations, the accuracy is maintained by a third-party consultant that we hired a technical expert on this type of equipment.
But you guys have been shown it's not working, because this is the same
It's
thing,
difficult.
I'm 37, this has been going on all my life, so you guys know what you say is all by the standards is not
So
working. So
we're-
why is there no
right.
better install?
we're not like air quality experts. We're not,
You guys can install
well, we
some
finish.
monitors as PGV if
Let me
you
finish.
need.
Let me finish that. We're not air quality experts, so we hire people who are. And we are, there's oversight by Department of Health. The Clean Air Act.
This is not answering my question, I'm asking about you guys. Why can't you install, you guys know it's not working, right?
We don't know that. We know it's working. I mean, we have guidelines and requirements.
Like, if you had the same community tell you over and over,
Right.
it's not working, I'm gonna say it, and, you know,
Right.
so it's not, you can't say it's working.
Well, it's not working from your perspective. From our perspective, we have, listen, we have folks that are experts in this area. We have the Department of Health and
The
have,
ones living it are
Expertise.
also the experts too, the
Okay.
community
I hear you.
that are being
I hear you.
hospitalized by your guys'
Right.
emissions, the
I hear you.
unwanted stuff.
Let me finish this next one.
This is
Yeah,
along
yeah.
with that as well. I'm wondering if the company is accountable for health costs if it's proven that the toxins are within blood and urine causing respiratory and neurological deficits.
Yes.
100% accountable for
You
life.
just gotta show your documentation.
Uh,
You can go, I mentioned this in our last meeting, that you can go to the county. They have
That's
money.
it.
Did they help you? Or
But
you-
that's still, our health is still, you guys are still doing the same thing, money isn't shit when it comes to
Okay.
desecration,
Well, I'm just
our
asking
health,
again, is
our
that,
children.
what's your name?
Dr. Rich O'Blaine.
Doctor?
Yeah,
What
and that's
kind of
why I'm
doctor?
asking in particular,
Yeah.
if it can be proven, and there are health concerns
Yeah.
in blood, urine and such, neurological and respiratory, in particular with nickel, cadmium,
Yeah.
hydrogen sulfide, and sodium hydroxide, all toxic stuff.
Okay.
And I know that you guys are doing the best you can to contain things,
Sure.
but accidents do happen. And these are environmental toxins that are dangerous. If it's shown within water, within the environment, within soils, within the body itself, how accountable for the life history of
If it's shown that the origination of all of that, what you mentioned, is from PGV, we're accountable.
And on top of that, the highest percentages of anybody to have that should be you, Mike. You've been there how long?
I don't know.
30-something years?
Yeah, I'll have to check my.
It's not
record.
at the plant, all those fissures in Leilani, it's all you guys.
He's been at the plant for 30
Everything's
years. You
coming
should
out.
probably have the
You be at
highest,
the plant all day long, brother, you're not
the highest
downwind,
percentages.
you know what I mean, talking over, but you know you hear me.
And that
You
includes
could be at the plant all
environmental-
day.
Anyway, but yeah, to answer your
You're
question,
not where
yes.
the emissions
We can
are.
talk after for
Sure,
sure.
100%.
Okay, Jasmine,
Yes, Mike,
can I continue?
please,
That,
please, continue, yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, community is currently suffering from a month of intense geothermal emissions residents becoming ill and vomiting from the toxic air. Our pleas have been ignored for years by authorities like
People in place, you're one of them,
Okay,
authorities,
right.
Mike Alec,
Civil defense,
et cetera.
civil defense. So you mentioned the Leilani fissures, you're speaking to the ones that are,
That
On
we
your property
created,
line.
During the
your
eruption.
property line and all, the big line to the plant, under the well field, under Leilani
Okay.
Estates.
so
Here's
those
all that
fissures are definitely off of our property. It's
Yours,
in
the
Leilani.
ones on yours.
Yeah, we got some from years before, 2018 wasn't the first eruption here.
I'm talking about after 2018. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
really, that's when it turned cancerous, you have death.
Okay.
Leilani.
So we don't have no, we don't have no control over those fissures. We don't have it.
What's coming out of them is your guys' toxin.
No, what's coming out
Mixed
is
in with
from the
the
volcano.
SO2. It's
Keep
not the
telling me,
volcano, Brada, we go over this every time.
I know the difference.
Okay,
Common sense, it's geology,
Chemicals and-
science.
anyhow, listen. The geothermal emissions from those fissures is not from PG.
Your property line ones, when all those fissures, it's all connected to your guys' toxins. We can do
Ah.
gaslighting, we can do this circle, all you want.
Okay.
What I'm asking is when will somebody do something and monitor those fissures? The last time you guys said, oh, it's private property, we don't have access, Now there's a big government sign on the Capona fissure that I keep posting on all my news pages
Yeah.
about. It says government property, telling nobody can go on there. So now there is a duty to monitor that.
So we should-
Capona
we
Street
should-
by Fissure 8, the one that
We
needs
should
to
contact
pass
our
out
government,
every day.
and I would suggest the Department of Health is the first one to contact.
Yeah, we've contacted them, but you know that, so, you know that.
But if the
right?
source of contamination is coming from a business, you guys are a corporate entity, and you cannot, you're not in the position, you're simply not in the position to chuck the responsibility of the consequences of your doing business in a residential area or anywhere. Check it off to the Department of Health or any other entity. It is without your having done the studies, without you having the proper monitors and that work, that aren't that upwind and that aren't way up high where the gas is heavier, all of these kinds of elements, it is North Korea. There is no way to get around that fact. So for you to continue to say, well, go talk to somebody else, is a betrayal of your duty to do business here.
So we had the whole volcano that erupted, that created all the fissures. The fissures, we weren't running during that time.
Shut
And
down.
the fissures were there. It has nothing to do with us.
You were pumping water into your wells.
So,
We need to move on to the next question. We're not gonna get through all the questions.
Thank you for
We got
sharing that.
22 minutes left.
Okay, well, so it's
Cracky.
Okay, Jasmine, here.
Yes,
You're asking about the EIS. So,
yes, please, that, please, I need to understand this. and
okay,
you're-
let me read
you're
it
right.
so everyone else
Okay.
can understand the question. It is impossible to state there are no underground impacts in the EIS when you are actively drilling into our home.
Yeah,
Please explain the benefit contribution. We're far away from your home.
this is my home. I'm born in Hawaii. Hawaii is my home. Puna is my home.
I think she's asking about the size.
Ho'oliki is my home. Leilani is my home. Like, my front yard was PGV for all my life, okay? My front and backyard.
Okay.
This is my home. Like, you're really telling me this is not my home.
So
You guys want
if
my
it's your home, it's our home.
Yeah, it's all of our homes. So how can you say, that's what I wrote, our home, right? I didn't write mine. I think I wrote our home. Maybe I wrote my home, but it's the same thing. I'm talking to the community and you know that. This isn't a selfish thing.
Let's try to stay to the point.
I know.
The question.
I know.
Anyway, I hear your point of view, that drilling into.
Well, no, it's a
our home.
question.
Listen, you call our home the property that we are authorized,
Puna is my home.
okay, fine. The PGV facility is in Puna.
Yeah, I understand, but can you
Okay.
answer the
The
question?
PGV facility has the
You guys
ability.
said there's no
to drill
underground
there.
impacts in
Well-
your EIS, right?
Well,
Granted,
whatever
there's underground.
EIS stated as far as impact? That's what the impact is.
No underground impacts, right? No, they don't. You don't have to, yeah, like,
That's,
there's no underground
you can
impacts.
look at the EIS, I mean, whatever we try in there, that's what we stick with, so anyway.
Yeah, but there's no underground.
Okay,
Cool.
Chalet.
You guys answered everything.
Okay, perfect, I've answered all of Chalet's questions. We have a few more minutes to take questions that weren't sent in.
I got a question for you, Mike.
Go ahead, Rocky.
I talked to you this last time of the meeting. I've been seeing lots of stuff of you being on the board of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands.
Okay,
Did you sign any ethics documents?
how about what?
You didn't sign any?
How about what?
All state employees are supposed to do the ethics, take the
Oh,
ethics.
I've done the
Did you
ethics
sign
training.
any? Did you sign
Whatever was required, I've done it.
it? Okay,
Yeah,
that's my question.
sure.
So here's my question. While working for PGV Geothermal, you're on the Department of Hawaiian Homelands
Yes.
board, a voting member.
Yes,
That's unethical, Chuck. That's unethical.
okay.
It's unethical.
Is that a
And
question?
you're supposed to lose your job. Yes, that is the question. Did you
Statement.
take that course?
Oh, yeah. It's
You signed it, right?
It's mandatory to take the ethics
Correct.
course.
That's mandatory as soon as you're hired. So,
It's
did
a
you?
volunteer position, by the way.
But still yet, did you benefit or geothermal benefit from that deal?
No.
Well, then why-
Anything that benefits me is a conflict, and
Well,
I refuse.
geothermal issue.
Huh? So what is DHHL doing?
We don't want that's poisoned by our houses. On the Department of Hawaiian Homelands.
You live by Hawaiian Homelands?
No, I don't, I can't even get on it. You guys are, geothermal's gonna go up on DHHL because of you, bro. You approved it. You're a voting member. That's unethical.
I'm one of 9 voting members.
But it's still
If it comes
unethical.
up to geothermal because of the ethics,
No,
I
that's
refuse.
ethical. You signed the paper. Thank you. You just answered my question because we're gonna be getting that document because it's against the law. For you to
Next
do
month,
that, to give the
listen.
vote of, that's against the ethics law.
The Hawaiian Homes Commission meets every month on the 3rd Monday and Tuesday. The next meeting happens to be scheduled for here. Come down, you can testify.
Well, I'm trying to do that here and tell you, you can't do that.
Yeah, but
It's
I'm not
illegal.
here representing DHHL, I'm here representing PGV. You wanna talk DHHL, go to the DHHL
Yeah,
meeting.
that's against the law.
No,
You're supposed to lose your job, bro.
And you can come from
Next
DHHL and say
question,
that.
next question.
Yes,
Aloha,
aloha.
I'm Kanoi.
Hi, Kanoi.
I'm from, Waimea,
Waimea,
in
not Kauai, this one here, not Oahu, Waimea.
Yes. So, I'm a case girl from Waimea. We do a lot of work, in our communities, and I'm here just to share space with everyone to learn more about what's going on with, PG. Learn more about some of the new projects that you folks are proposing to increase your plant production.
Okay.
So thank you for sharing. I do take a lot of interest in what Uncle is saying, before I answer my question, because I am also a CAG, I'm a beneficiary of, I'm just Native Hawaiian in general, so I like to hear those kinds of things, because we try to connect everything together, understanding, and just, So my question, I guess, would be, I'm also a mental health profession, yeah, so I hear and there's trauma that's incurred from all of this. So part of me sitting here today is to just be supportive of our people who have been experiencing these things, PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and then also the adverse effects that are from possible health adverse effects from the plant production. So I just wanted to say that I'm also here to support that. I think, I guess with that said, one of my questions would be possibly to Jordan, is that right? Oh, Jordan. Okay, so there was a statement you made, when you first started speaking about the plant doing well, yeah, and the plant being stable.
So what resonates with me after my mental health is I use that word every day of my life. So it's like this. So I guess my question would be, can you define the active well stability? What is its baseline when it's operating over 40 years? I guess I know you folks are talking analytics and stuff like that, and trying to monitor. Because I have 2 questions, but 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. But they're all related. They really are truly related. So what is its baseline as it's producing throughout this 45 years? I know you're new, that's what I heard, but maybe from your documents and what you folks monitor for your folks' production side. Maybe
Yeah,
not
so we're like
this side.
32 years.
32, okay.
32
I
years.
guess I'm thinking of from the vowel killings out, and I'm
Yeah,
including.
we're not affiliated about that.
So, I know, but so what is its baseline? What's the behaviors when it becomes unstable? How often does it become unstable? And maybe what's its triggers, like hurricanes and stuff, or maybe there's other kinds of things that trigger it, I don't know. Its adverse effects when unstable, and how does that affect the community and your production? But if you could explain both of those to me, and then I have another question, only one other.
No, and good question, and interpretation of word and verbiage, right, is always many different ways, and stability can be taken many different ways. When I use stable as in our power production, and so our power production, we were reducing load because we had a well plug up on our production well. We had an injection well repair that we needed to be made. So when I say well, we're doing well as in power production. Stability is only in the power side, not as in, and I guess it is on a production well, right? We had one that plugged up, so we had to go put the drill rig on, we had to get the permit and everything, etc. We moved the equipment on, we clean up the well. That's when we did the flow test recently, which I think was like June. And we did the flow test successfully. We successfully repaired the injection well. And so that when we were able to get that back online, our power increased, stable increase, and doing well. That was my interpretation. Sorry for maybe miscommunicating that.
It's okay, would you be able to put it in the context that I'm asking about it? When it comes unstable, not the power, then when it comes unstable in its function, then what does it do?
So if we have help, we'll trip us off grid. The worst case scenario, right, is what you're looking for. I guess, like stability wise.
And how often does it do that, and what's the effects?
Well, knock on wood, not very often. We did have an issue with diesel. So if Helco trips us offline, that'd probably be one of the worst case scenarios. We have 2 transmission lines, that gives us redundancy. And if we were to trip off and disconnect from the grid, so it'll disconnect us, we can't make power and send our power to the grid, we turn off, everything shuts down at that point. So we have to get rid of steam in the piping. So it's very similar to the flow test where we have an emergency steam release facility. So that would be like the worst case scenario, being transparent, our power lines. And we have abatement systems on that, and we will abate the steam. Because you have the pressure in the piping, right, of steam. And so you release that and abate it with the caustic. And so you scrub in the H2S, and then that's what we release. At that point, though, all your production wells will close in too, so you stop any more flow to the plant. The plant ramps down, you exhaust any unneeded pressure, and it's only a small amount of pressure that you would have to relieve normally, and then you ramp down the plant. You sit on the plant, wait until our connection lines get back connected, and we bring back production and start back up.
When you say release, what do you know that you're releasing?
Steam in our piping that
So
makes
it's
that.
just steam.
Steam that's scrubbed with caustic to scrub out any natural H2S that's inside of the steam.
So when you say
Same like our
scrub,
flow
what
test.
do you use to scrub?
Scrub is the terminology of the industry, right? So you're treating or scrubbing, cleaning the steam. It's a good way to interpret it. Same like how we do the flow test. We do the exact same thing on the flow test, right? You
So
ensure that
whatever you're
any
using
steam
to
that's
clean
coming
this
out.
with, because we in the community are smelling
there's things from the fishers.
No,
The
it's
fisher
not
line is
pollution,
still
this is
active.
chemicals. These
It's
are
not from us.
chemicals.
Off and around your quotas.
It's not from us.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'd love to just add one more thing to this. Would you mind if I add it?
I do have one.
I wanna add something into,
Oh, it had to do with what it was saying.
I think it would help you what you're thinking too, because I came and I come to all these meetings and I just remind everyone of what happened to me in 1991 when there was an explosion and I lived on Halekamahina and I was the closest house to the well. And I saw 2 cows die. I saw 3 women lose their babies in miscarriage right after it happened. I saw lots of trees die. I had to race out of there with 2 young children and I was evacuated for 3 weeks.
Was that, yeah, because there is.
So something can happen, and it did happen. So I never hear that addressed until I bring it up.
Right, but it happened during the cell too, because the steam release valve malfunctioned and about 100 people got gassed in their homes.
I felt like the truck ran over me. The next day I was wiped out.
We definitely remember that. I mean, we had presentations,
You always just say, it's not us, it's not us, it's not us. It's just your
Well,
deflex automatic.
Well, let's get back to it. Let her finish her
Be
question.
quiet, be
too.
quiet, be quiet, okay.
Just kind of, but so.
Yeah, but can I?
Are those like stuff that they're saying in the 1991 and stuff like that? Were they like included in the past EIS for the cultural impacts and the health impacts?
Yeah.
All of those reflect that happenings in there?
Yeah, it does reflect that. Yeah, there was, the history of the project and what has happened. And on the cultural impact side, they did the Pakai analysis.
Oh, there was a talk.
Yes, the ones, so it's in the EIS. And, so, yeah, Halekamahina is down Kohole. And the KSA incident was right there near Manipuna. So the nearest home was in Manipuna already, so they're not there in Manipuna.
And I guess my last question, because I don't want to take up everybody's time, but I do want to understand if you could, because, you know, it's our deities, our culture, from a cultural perspective, there's a lot more than the health impacts. And I think for me to, and a lot of us to just go through move through things, I gotta make that clear that is a basis for why I'm here, is because of my kupuna and stuff, so. With that said, we do honor water as very, very important, so I'm glad that you shared that there's 2, monitoring, water wells.
We're gonna be doing 3.
3.
Yeah.
That's
3 more than our 2 that we already have.
And so 3. And so this wells, for the 30 years you're operating, is this like the first time that the water's being asked to be monitored?
No.
These are just.
It's been monitored from day one, and we actually have 3 monitoring wells that we use today, but as a result of what's happening at Red Hill,
Yeah, there's a lot.
DOH has asked us to increase the amount of wells. So this is an ask from the regulatory agency, so they are looking up, they are overseeing us, so they're being more stringent, and that's why we're doing the additional 3.
And no, that's a really good question. And we've been always monitoring. When the lobby event happened, it ran over the other monitoring wells. The first thing we drilled was 2 water monitoring wells. Before anything else, the first thing we did at site was that. And then we went to production.
Those 2 wells are like right next to each other, so you
That's
can
why
And
get
there's
the same
also
result.
another one in the residential area
Yeah.
too that we sampled to downstream of
But
us.
those 2
down
water
the east
pumps,
side.
They're close
What about the
together.
Nunavali water? Do you ever test that? Because that's where we drink from.
is
You ever
that
test
private
that?
or is that county?
No, it's the county right
No,
there.
they're the county tested, right?
Well, it was in your EIS that, and it said 4 of your poisons were found in the drinking water as far away as Hawaiian beaches.
Okay.
So,
Let me
that's,
finish answering the question.
Yes.
On the monitoring of the problem, right?
that's
So,
similar.
It's been from day one, that's the requirement. We also, because of concerns like we hear now, there were third-party analysis performed by the USGS. A couple mayors ago, when we came over the mayor, he actually commissioned a health study work group. And there were 10 people that was part of this work group. All of them were from the Puna district, right? And as a result, that working group said, let's do a study of the groundwater. So the USGS from Menlo Park did the 2015 report. And if you're interested in looking at it, we can share that. But what I wanted to add
How long
is
ago was that?
2015.
15.
So what I wanted to add is that we did follow-up testing post-eruption, and Paul left, but Paul's involved with the county, and the county has hired third-party USGS again to do a follow-up groundwater analysis.
What company is that?
I don't know, this is the county council, is in the name, not PGV. So, you know who that is? USGS.
No, it's the United States Geological Survey.
Yeah.
What's up with KS 21?
Did I finish your,
I didn't, and then I have one ask.
you got it?
There are several people here with questions as
Yeah,
well.
just the last question.
Just one more ask. Is that if we do, and when you do have the next quarterly meeting, because I hear them asking for a lot of, analysis and results, and if that could be part of your folks'
It's
presentation.
November 25th.
Yeah, for November 25th, if you could also mandate the county of Hawaii to come and be present.
We always invite them,
Yeah.
always.
But I mean, when it's, when is it suitable for it to be mandated, like you guys gonna?
We have no control over government. Government
Yeah,
has
this is
control
only
over us.
our meeting, we invite them to try to talk about.
So we gotta mandate them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they work for you, they work for all of us.
Alright, thank you, that was just, yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't come from business.
For
Yeah.
taking,
Party. Yes, yes.
Two very quick questions. One, if the permits have not been, passed yet for certain things to go on at PGV,
Yes.
how much money has been spent for things that have been purchased, things that have been, transported to the site, the big turbine, all of these things, even though you don't have a permit? So what is the investment you've made, and what happens to that investment if you don't get a permit?
If you don't, it's pretty simple. If you don't get a permit, you don't get a permit.
So isn't that an unwise use of monies before
If you don't get the permit,
before you get the
many
permit?
otherwise.
Yeah, so it seems like a very risky thing, or you somehow know that those permits were already passed, or would be passed.
No, we're still working with the authorities.
It's not intelligent use of money to
Well,
invest in something that you can't do.
When you have a PPA, you have a certain time frame you have to meet to build to, right? And shipping, equipment, building, et cetera, takes a long time. If you don't proactively have equipment available to meet your deadline of PPA, to have it running by end of next year to save everybody $23 at an average of 500, whatever. It's, we have to. Once you have the
So you're
PPA,
saying that
you got
it was a time requirement
Yeah,
that made it necessary for you to foolishly use money that you
Well,
don't
it's
know
part of the agreement with the
will,
PPA.
will actually be.
Let me just answer the generalities. Our company, my company is one now. We've been doing this for 60 years, for renewable energy for 60 years. So we know business, we understand this, right? We're not gonna be foolishly spending millions of dollars with the anticipation that we're not gonna do it.
It's just interesting that any building is done, any road is made, any altering of the site.
Everything that's being
anything.
done has permits.
I can't find, I did a Freedom of Information request, and I found that you guys have totaled 82 permits since 1980s, when the original company got online, and only 30 of them have ever been finalized in 30 years. There's no power plants that have ever been finalized. It's only been electrical permits that have to hook up to Helco.
So
You
chances
guys
are
do
good.
not file your permits.
And that means.
And so,
you're
yeah, I think
doing
you guys
illegal
run the
things.
county. You run the county and the state. They don't come out
I
here.
wish we ran the county, and I wish we ran the state.
One more question, one last question, we got time for.
Yeah, let Larry ask then.
We'll let Larry have the honors of the final $1 million question.
Yeah, well,
Christian is
first,
the
as a
most
precursor,
Yes.
I've asked it 3 times already, what's up with KS 21?
Okay, KS 21 is in operation.
You got a permit finally?
Yeah, we have a permit,
You have an underground injection control permit from the state of Hawaii?
yes.
Because you didn't for 2 years, you operated without it.
We've been in coordination with all the authorities to operate the well, so it's currently operating.
So you have a, you got a permit
We got a
for it.
permit for 21, there's still a lot of work
Well,
that we need to do.
I asked for it, they said you don't
The
have
last
one.
week,
I don't have
within the last
control
week,
over
you
that.
did?
So, can I ask just one more?
Last one, let's go.
So,
Yeah.
worst case scenario,
Yeah.
something blew
Ah, oh, there.
up in your folks.
Like a volcano,
No, just,
that's the
Something
worst
went
case
wrong.
scenario.
do you
No,
guys
more
have
kind of
no
sense.
emergency
Action plan.
action plan?
Emergency action plan, and it's at civil defense.
Okay.
The public has access to the
I
emergency
posted
action.
a lot on my page.
So, I wanted to come back to when Sarah mentioned about Izell and 100 people got gas and 12 people passed out, right? So we did have a failure, we had a mechanical failure of a pressure relief valve, right? So what that means is when the pressure is high, it protects the piping and it opens. But when the pressure was reduced, it tried to close, but there was a mechanical failure internal. So there was some unabated geothermal fluids to the atmosphere. So we had experts calculate how much. So we released less than 100 pounds of H2S. Okay.
Well, it made a lot of
Well,
people sick,
I know, it made 100 people sick. 12 people passed out.
and you guys
Yeah,
paid
we
it
had
out.
almost the
Okay, but now here's a comparison.
Fucking paid off.
2018, we got the eruption. You have all these fissures emitting gases. Sulfur dioxide, which is considered 5 times more hazardous than H2S.
No.
400 million pounds
Simple
per day.
research, educate yourself.
400 million pounds per day.
You
Nobody
better
gets sick.
educate yourself if you're working here.
We also did have a truck full of firemen stuck in between us and Leilani overnight during the,
Oh, yeah, we had the fire department.
and they were flown
Yeah,
out in the
that's
morning by
Leilani,
helicopter, and they were perfectly fine.
Can I finish?
Thank you
telling
so much for attending.
I wanna say that when you're flow testing or have to, there's residents around you that feel exactly that same feeling.
Okay.
That we're being gassed, I have to leave my home, I can't breathe, I have to go to the hospital, I was transported. So I'm telling you that we're in post-traumatic stress every time we see that flow test is coming, and then we know we're gonna be gassed, or I have
And
to
ignore
plan a
it.
vacation away for 3 days, because I know it's gonna come toward us.
And be told that it's
So
nothing.
how are you gonna